better enjoy college football this year, because this is going to be the last time you have it. Like the way it's been the past couple of years. Tradition, rivalry, fun, but things are starting to change a little bit. This is going to be the last season you're going to have it the way that you remember it. Conference realignment, the main part of it, but I'm here to break it down what's really going on. This is the Slater Report podcast! I'm back Monday, August 14th. It's a great day, beautiful day. College football is less than 2 weeks away, and I'm back for my regularly scheduled podcast every Monday night. So good to be back. It's so good to be back to recording because all my equipment is picking up dust. So nice to clean it off and get things going again with college football. I got a big show planned for you today. If you haven't been paying attention to college football, a lot has happened the past couple of weeks, July especially. Conference realignment is the main talk for the summer. If you've been under a rock like Patrick Starr, then the Pac-12 is dead. I'll leave it off that note. The Pac-12 is dead. You're probably like, what? What is going on? Why is the Pac-12 dead? Well, it's because the Pac-12 is stupid. Yeah, the leadership of the Pac-12 are all stupid. And it's all because of money. Money is the main reason. Tradition is dying in college football. Those rivalries you love watching in the Pac-12, maybe the in-state rivals, yeah, they're splitting up. No longer are we going to have Oregon versus Oregon State. Let me remember, I think the last time Oregon State beat Oregon was last year. So, yeah, Oregon has one last year to chance to redeem themselves. And, yeah. Well, I mean, we still had USC and UCLA, but, I mean, they're going to the Big Ten, a conference that's going to be really big. What are the chances are they going to be playing? I mean, they'll probably put a rivalry thing where they play each other every year, but, I mean, isn't that the fun thing about being in a conference is you play the same teams every year, and in a non-conference schedule with the teams you normally don't play every year? What's the part of being a part of a big super conference? I don't like that. I don't like the way that things are going. I'm a tradition guy. I do not like the way that college football is heading. I like tradition. I like rivalry. The fans. It's all because of money. And, yeah, so I'm going to break it down real quick. USC, UCLA is going to the Big Ten, along with Oregon and Washington. Alright? 2 years ago, we heard that OU and Texas go to SEC. It's starting up next year. The Big 12 bringing in Cincinnati, UCF, BYU, and Houston starting this season. Big 12 is going to be an interesting year this year. Next year is going to be really more interesting because they're bringing in Colorado. Great. Colorado's joining the Big 12 back. Awesome. I love that Colorado's regretting going to the Pac-12 for money and coming back. I love that. Utah is also coming to the Big 12. And they're bringing along Arizona and Arizona State because they have a pack. They're really having a three-way alliance. So, really, wherever they go with them. I wish that's something that other schools would do, like Oklahoma, Texas, OSU, Oregon, Oregon State. I think that really in-states, if power in-state schools need to be in the same conference because those rivalries are a lot fun. I don't know why. It's stupid. I hate it. And it just leaves the Pac-12 with 4. It's the Pac-4 now. So I'm gonna start a new meme. I'm gonna change their name to the Pac-4. So all season long, anytime I talk about the Pac-12, I'm gonna call it the Pac-4. Even you can see it right here. I made a Pac-4 logo. because California, Oregon State, Washington State, and Stanford are the only 4 Pac-4 teams remaining. And I actually think that by the time that this this episode comes out, I would have thought that they would have found a new conference by now. Or the Pac-4 would have found some more teams to add. No. It's still, they're failing. And there has been rumors, there have been negotiating with the ACC. It failed. I'll get to that later on. And now they're in the talk with the American Conference, the AAC. That's still in discussion. We'll find out either this week or next week what they're going to do with that. Also, the third option is for them to merge with the Mountain West. So, crazy, huh? But also, the ACC is kind of falling apart right now, too. So, they all split to the other conferences. It's going to be the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10 as the only power conferences. And we're only going to stuck with 3 left. My prediction is, I think we'll still end up with 5 power conferences. Pac-12 not going to be one of them. Pac-12 is going to fold. The question is, which one of the other group of conferences are going to become a power conference? Alright, so I'm going to deep dive into the Pac-4 right now. Alright, so I received info that last year, the Pac-12 was trying to renew their new TV media deal. They got a deal from ESPN that gave each school $30 million each. So that would be as much as the Big 12 is right now. And that was before the Big 12 had their big deal. The Pac-12 said, no, we want $50 million per school. ESPN said goodbye and moved on to the Big 12, and that's the reason. And that's when the Big 12 was like, "Oh wow, ESPN's giving this much money, we'll take it, and let's bring in Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and BYU." It worked, and I mean, the Big 12 is growing right now. I think they're one of the top conferences right now. I think it's SEC, Big 12, and the Big 10. The Big 12 is doing amazing. A lot of people thought the Big 12 is going to fall apart because OU and Texas left. No, they're at the top. And they're really building in. They're looking at adding UConn and Gonzaga for basketball only. So they're going to be the number one. Not only are they the number one basketball conference, they're looking at 2 flagship blue blood programs in basketball. That's gonna really shake things up. And they're number 2 in football and number 3 in baseball. Wow, well done. And they're number 1 in softball. Duh. But I mean, the SEC is probably gonna take that away for reasons you all know about. But yeah. Crazy. And so, yeah, all money, it's really, the Pac-4 fell apart is because of money. They wanted more money. The media was like, we're not giving that up, because we all know that ESPN doing layoffs so they could pay some of these teams and leagues off. So they're like, no way, we're not giving you any more money. We'll go to some other conference that will take it. And sure enough, this summer, Pac-12 were waiting for a media deal. There were rumors that they would go 100% streaming with Apple TV and Amazon. Turns out Amazon wasn't even in talk with them at all. There were rumors that ESPN might get a contract just for a few games to keep the Pac-12 after dark. Pac-12 still said no to that. So ESPN once again officially said goodbye, but they're like, but they welcome those teams that went to the Big 10 and Big 12 for, but we'll pay them then for what we originally were going to do for the Pac-12. So they're ESPN and Fox are both happy with that. And yeah, with those schools going to Big 10 and Big 12, Fox has got contracts with both those conferences, and they're like, yeah, we'll take those too as well. A little extra money, we'll pay for them, but yeah, they're good schools. We'll pay for them. It's a good deal. And we heard that the Pac-12 deal with Apple TV was going to be depending on streaming, how many subscribers they have. Well, we heard that it was going to be probably around like $60 for the season, probably for the first season, kind of like what they do with soccer. So, yeah, all those schools were like, so we have no idea what we're going to get paid year in, year out based on a multi-year contract. No way, we're not doing that, because you can get a range for, and the minimum was $15 million. Those PAC schools, those California schools were like, no way, we're not doing that. That's too cheap. Up to, $50 million like the PAC wanted, but that's only if they get enough subscribers, which I think it's possible. But based on the way the Pac-12 is trending lately, I don't see it. I actually think that if the Pac-12 were to take that media deal, I think it actually would have matched up with the Big 12. I think Pac-12 fans would have signed up for that subscription, and it would have pretty much matched up the Big 12. But the only problem is, only Pac-12 fans would watch it. I don't think anyone outside of the conference would really pay to watch that. That's just my opinion, and it's really poor leadership on the Pac-12. The reason why they fell apart. As a football fan, as a college football fan, I'm sad that the Pac-12 falling apart. It's a great conference. I like watching it, although as much as a lot of people on the East Coast hate Pac-12 after dark because they want to go to sleep, can't watch it. I love this. I love a full Saturday. I like to stay up until like 1 a.m. till the clock hits 0 on a Pac-12 game. I don't mind it, but the Pac-12 after dark going away, which I'm kind of happy, because maybe that means, I won't have to stay up late anymore, but also I like staying up that late watching those football games. But also, as just a random person, that's hilarious. This is the funniest thing ever I've ever seen. I am laughing it up. So hilarious, so funny. Now, let's talk about the merging opportunity. Now, the Pac-12 could merge with the Mountain West, and Mountain West would take over ownership, and it might be called like the Pac-West or the Mountain 12 or something like that, or the Mountain Pac or something. I don't know. They would combine the names, and it would become a new Power 5 Power Conference, and Mountain West, all those schools would become a power school, and including the 4 rain number from the 4. I think it's a good deal. I mean, they stay local. Those schools stay local. They're still a power conference. Those group of schools that weren't powered, they're now powered. Those are good schools. They probably deserve to be powered. But again, some of them, not so much. But then again, if you look at the American Conference, most of the American Conference's schools, they do look like a power conference. Also, I kind of actually sometimes think the American Conference is a Power 5. I kind of think of it, kind of combine it as like a Power 6. Altogether, they're the 6 best conferences. So, with the Pac-4 merging with the American Conference, I think is the great idea and probably the best idea. Now, geographically, probably not the best idea, because, again, they have to travel, those West Coast got to travel all that way, but again, the Big 10, the Big 12's already going to do that anyway, and, all those Tulane, Tulsa, Cincinnati's going to be a Big 12, but, all those schools that in the American Conference will become a Power 5. Awesome! They're going to become a power school. That's awesome. I think that's a great idea. Then also there's the Pac-12 and the ACC merging. I think that's a stupid idea because the ACC is way the heck out there in the West Coast. They're almost like the SEC. They have to travel a long distance, and also the ACC is already falling apart because Clemson and Florida State are already mad at ACC with their TV media deal. They're both, Florida State's more likely, they're wanting out of the conference because Florida State might go to the SEC, Clemson might go to the Big Ten. I mean, the ACC is kind of a mystery right now. They might fall apart. And I think the only group of conference that's holding together right now that would best be for the 4 remaining teams is the American Conference. I think that's the best option for those 4. I know that those 4 probably don't want it because they know that it's not a power conference, but it will become a power conference, but they'll also feel like it's not a power conference because none of them were. But also, I think it's best for them because now they can be like, okay, we're going to be the power schools of this new power conference. We could beat everyone up. Although we have to travel a long distance, we could still beat everyone up. Also, I don't think it's that far. I mean, SMU's still way out there. I mean, I think it's great. I think it's going to be great for American Conference. I think the Pac should fold. American Conference becomes a power conference. I think that's awesome. I love that plan, especially for me as a college football fan trying to keep tradition alive. So, yeah, this is really a whole big conference alignment is crazy this summer. I think that's the best idea for if you want to keep tradition alive or at least still going, but NIL is still kind of destroying college football just slightly, not much, but slightly. Recruiting wise, yes, because those flashy programs will grow. The unflagship programs, the ones that don't have any shot, will continue to fall. That's one of the main reasons why I like college over pros, is because it's not because of money, it's because every year, every team has a shot, and then as these new, as more schools want getting more money, more richer, it's getting more obvious which schools are going to be at the top every year. Georgia, very likely going to be a three-peat. It's been a while since we had a three-peat. Yeah, I know that Alabama, I mean, yeah, they haven't been up there, but they're going to be up there. Nick Saban's he's going to be at the top. I mean, there's going to be a lot of schools that, be at the top 10 that's been top 10 the last couple of years. But I do have an exception this year. This year is probably going to be one of the most craziest college football seasons we've ever seen. I released my rankings. I'm going to be talking about that here in just a little bit. AP released a ranking. I'll get to that later on. But I say this is probably one of my toughest years ever predicting my preseason rankings because I have no idea what's going to go on. I'm trying to predict all these upsets. There are so many great teams this year that it's going to be set up for the greatest college football season of all time. And it's awesome because this is going to be the last year of college football with current tradition because, obviously next year it's going to be a new generation of football. That's what I'm looking forward to. So enjoy college football this year because it's going to be amazing. And first, before we end up my podcast, I got a few headlines to go over. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan football head coach. He's got suspended for 4 games. The first 4 games, Michigan, because he was doing illegal recruiting or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you want to know what his first 4 games are? Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. You could see the schedule already, you have the graphic, but as I'm recording this, I'm still trying to pull it up. But yeah, their first 4 games are cupcakes. Here, I'm pulling it up right now. Oops, whoops, wrong button. Hold on, sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, you can see it right here. They got Eastern Carolina, W, UNLV, W, Bowling Green, W, Rutgers, W. That might be their hardest one, but that's a good W because all 4 of those are home, and they're going to be without Jim Harbaugh, all 4 of them. I think that they'll be fine without him. Michigan, that's such a cupcake first 4 games. They'll be fine. Also, some big news: the NCAA has rejected letting him coach the 4th straight game. I don't even know why you're appealing it. I mean, you just take this 4-game suspension. I mean, you really think that you're gonna lose one of those 4 games? Really that much? I mean, yeah, and you're gonna miss it, but really, come on. You're definitely if they lose one of those games without him, I'm gonna laugh my head off. That's gonna be so hilarious. But no doubt they're gonna win those 4 games. Also, oh well, another headline is blah blah blah. Florida State is looking to lead the ACC along with Clemson. So yeah, that's other breaking news that I have for you that I talked about earlier. Yeah, big news. I think we'll have to wait until next summer because season's about to start. They usually do all this discussion of changing conferences over the summer. It's mid-August now. I think all the discussions later. I don't know what the Pac-4 is going to do because it's so late in the summer and season's about to start that they really need to make the decision already. It's way too late. Anyway, quick over some big games coming up. Got Navy versus Notre Dame. That's going to be a huge game. First game of the season in Ireland. And we got St. Joe's State versus USC. Yeah, 7 o'clock on the 26th. Yeah, Pac-12 Network. Yep, Pac-12 Network. I won't be able to see it. Yikes. And then we got Florida and Utah on Thursday, next Thursday, 7 o'clock, ESPN. It's a big one. Oh, wait, we got Miami versus Miami on a Friday. That's interesting. And then our game of the week for September 2nd is Colorado versus TCU. Can Coach Prime pull up a big upset, beat the first runner-up last year? And can TCU compete after being the first runner-up last year? That's going to be quite a ball game. Also, Ohio State on upset alert against Indiana. That's going to be a big one. Texas is going to be playing Rice. Want to just throw that up there in case they lose. But, yeah, got to keep an eye on that one. Yeah, I'm scrolling through real quick all of my games this week. Oh yeah, we got North Carolina and South Carolina. ESPN called Game Day is going to that one. That's gonna be a big one at the Duke Mayo Classic. And then the Sunday is gonna be a big one, probably the biggest game of the week 1. LSU versus Florida State, number 5 versus 8. That's gonna be week 1. LSU is 5, Florida State's 8. Blah blah blah. Camping World kickoff. ABC, 8:30 on a Sunday night. And then Clemson versus Duke on a Monday. That's going to be an iffy. It really depends on if Duke shows up. And now let's take a look at the rankings real quick. So let's pull up my rankings and then compare it next to the AP rankings. And I gotta say, it's an open discussion, alright? Again, for the second straight year, I have Ohio State number 1 in preseason, and for the 3rd straight year, I have Ohio State at number 1 at some point. Georgia, for the first time in AP, well, actually, their second time, but the first time under their head coach, Kirby Smart, sorry, they are number 1. Michigan is at number 2. I'm kind of surprised at that considering their cupcake schedule. Ohio State actually has quite a tougher schedule. Number 3, Alabama is 4. I'm surprised about that. You know Nick Saban's going to be really, really upset and really on edge this year, considering they haven't been to the playoff in what feels like forever for it. I got Ohio State, again, like I already said, 1. I got Florida State, number 2. Florida State, I think, is going to be the Cinderella this year. Alright, I think they're going to be the one team no one expects to make the playoff, and probably go to the championship game. They're going to beat the TCU. Florida State's going to beat the TCU of last year, even though they have Florida State at 8. Yeah, a little higher than I probably thought they would put. Still, keep an eye on Florida State this year. And I got Alabama at 3 and Georgia at 4. I got Penn State at 5, Clemson at 6. I got Michigan at 7. Here's the big one. I got Oklahoma at 8 because of the defense. I think the defense will stand out this year. Now, and as you can see, Oklahoma is 20 on the AP poll. Yes, I agree. I have Oklahoma a little higher ranked. I know, but I think 20 is probably a good pick for Oklahoma. But, again, I'm trying to predict the outcome. I'm trying to predict the final rankings. My preseason ranking is me trying to predict the final rankings. So, yeah, the AP is probably more accurate based on coming into week 1. I'm trying to predict the final outcome of it. And really based on what it will look like at the end of the season. That's how I do my rankings, especially for the preseason. And then after week 1, I'll do it based on, I'll make adjustments based on how they played that week. But yeah, I got Tennessee at 9, LSU at 10, Utah at 11, Florida not even ranked. I have them at 12. They're gonna be climbing. They're gonna be so surprising. They're gonna be the Cinderella of the SEC. Don't be surprised if they pull up a few upsets this year. Oregon 13. They're gonna rise up in the Pac-12. They're gonna be the team to watch in the Pac-12 along with Utah. And new this year for the Pac-12, the top 2 teams, the Pac-12 play each other in championships. So USC is gonna be in trouble this year. And I had them at 18, a little lower than what AP has, and they have them at 6. I also have K-State at 14, A&M at 15, Texas at 16, Notre Dame at 17. I already said USC's 18, Iowa is 19, Oregon State at 20. Yes, Oregon State's ranked now. They're getting better and better. Look out, Oregon. You might be joining the Big Ten, but Oregon State's coming after it. Wisconsin at 21, Tulane 22, Washington 23, North Carolina at 24, and Troy is going to be, I mean, yeah, I had Tulane up there, but Tulane and Troy are going to be the group of 5 schools to keep an eye on this year. The AP, they got LSU at 5, USC at 6, Penn State 7, Florida State 8, Clemson 9, Washington at 10. That's a little high. I mean, yeah, I think Washington's going to be a great team, but I don't think they're going to be that great. I mean, there's so many good Pac-12 teams this year. Texas is 11, Tennessee is 12, Notre Dame is 13, Utah is 14, Oregon is 15, Kansas State 16, TCU 17, Oregon State 18, Wisconsin is 19, Oklahoma 20, North Carolina 21, Ole Miss is 22, Texas A&M is 23, Tulane 24, their one and only Group 5 school. I'm surprised they're at that low, and usually there's 2, but wow, that is pretty low. And 25 is Iowa. Yes, the no offensive teams finally, not the offense you probably would expect, but I think they have their offense roster has slightly gotten better. The defense still looks strong, and that's going to be impressive. Yeah, I think the thing that surprised me is Washington's up in the top 10 with Oregon, Utah, and USC up in there. Those are really good. And you notice there's the lack of Big 12 schools in the up there in the top 25. Just K-State and TCU. Oklahoma barely into the top 20. Dang, that's the Big 12's gotta. The Big 12's gotta surprise everyone today. I think the Big 12 is gonna be the conference to watch because I mean, they're not even in the top 10. I think Oklahoma. There's gonna be at least one team. Possibly 2. I'm gonna predicting now. There's gonna be at least 2 teams in the Big 12 in the top 10 when the season ends. Likely Oklahoma and Texas. But keep an eye on K-State too. They could also be there. They could also have 3. It's gonna be pretty close. But anyway, yep. That's all. Tradition versus money was my title for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Tradition. Apparently, money is more important than tradition. Is the summary of today's episode. But college football fan, I gotta go with tradition, and I hate seeing it. Anyway, I'll see you all. I think actually I'm not gonna take next week off because I'm gonna prepare for Down and Distance on Tuesday. Also, American Game Day starts back up this Saturday. I got a big show playing for you. Gonna be a big, college football's underway. Yep, show every week. American Game Day this Saturday. Gonna be every Saturday. It's gonna be a great time. I can't wait to do it. I want to start right now, but again, we're just 12 days away from college football. Enjoy. I'll see y'all next time, later on. Yep. Alright, roll my outro. This is the Slater Report Podcast!